डर से भागना क्या, game से डरना क्या? The game is in you, the arena's waiting for you. Let out your war cry, तू जीत के दिखा, डर के आगे आ. दुनिया को competition, we're in this to win this. No mistakes now, one wrong move, you're out of the game. They're screaming your name, so tell me, are you game?
It's been a long day of Dota. It's been a lot of Dota. It's been a lot of very, very, very good Dota. And what better way to end things out other than the defending championships of the New Gamers Arena 2018 themselves going back to the qualifiers, going back to the Lahore qualifiers finals where they will be facing off with Now, you guys do know we've had the internationals final happening right now. And some people might have spent a little bit too much time screaming at the screen while their team got eliminated. So one of us will not be here today. So it is just myself and Tultras today. Tala, how are you feeling, man? We're about to cast a team that is honestly likely to still be the favorites of the entire tournament right now in Portal. So we've seen a few of their players before. We know a few of their players for sure, but they've definitely got a bit of a hard road ahead of them.
Yeah, they have a very hard road ahead. I mean, so many veteran players. I think all of Portal Esports just has veteran players. Titan, Shizzy, Aeon, Ghost Khan. All veteran players, players that we've been seeing for years. And definitely a very hard matchup for
5 seconds remaining.
I mean, on the other side,
we do see a tiny
as well that we know about. You know, 7 was in the winning roster last year. Demo is one of the older players in general. Cyrus is someone new. He's slightly. I've heard good things about him. I've seen him play before as well. Devil and Revenge not too bad either. But we see the Mirana being picked up first and foremost. Picking up the Tiny.
Yeah, we do see the Tiny pick coming out, and Tiny is a very good hero of this meta. I don't know if you guys have watched the TI finals, but Tiny was actually picked almost every single game in the best of 5. So very important pick. Tiny sort of functions like Kunkka these days with his new ability, with his tree grab and his tree toss, where it does physical damage equivalent to how much damage Tiny has.
Of course, I mean, one of the bigger things as well that comes down to Tiny is that he can be flexed into a 3 position, to a 4 position, even a 2 position. So that's always nice to see. Shadow Demon paired up, another very strong pick for the current metagame. But Portal on the other side, they've picked up one of the other very, very good flex heroes, which is the Mirana, and the Ancient Apparition to follow up immediately afterwards. I'm slightly surprised that with the Shadow Demon open, they didn't go for that themselves, though.
Yeah, Mirana and Shadow Demon are, one of the staple combos. I'm interested to see how the Mirana and Ancient Apparition are going to function, because if a Mirana does get off her arrow and, Mirana's just going to be throwing out those arrows one after the other, that could be a guaranteed ice lock if it's a 3-second stun or more.
It does largely depend on what we have there to actually, kind of set things up as well. So we'll have to wait to find out. Remember, Aeon is playing the 4 position, so that is where I would imagine one of the nice things about having him is that if you have a Mirana played by Aeon, you can very easily transition it into a core or semi-core role later on in the game. Now, the Meeple Man does come through. This has some history to it. It's not just because we had a fantastic Meeple game. The history, of course, comes down to that Aeon and 7 last year at the New Gamers Arena finals ended up beating up Shiraz and company twice in a row with 2 Meeple picks in a row, both played by 7, who considers that a bit of a speciality for himself. So they want to just remove that, make sure that they don't have to deal with it. On the other side do take a Slark away. Very good with the Ancient Apparition, very good with the Mirana. You've got a nice little setup if you've got a good leash. You have a clear path for the Mirana arrow. And the Ancient Apparition, of course, a natural counter to the Slark. So if you've picked him up already, you have the chance of just making sure you've got the Slark for yourself. and no Ancient Apparition to worry about. Naga Siren comes out to be the last ban for the Portal Esports side, and MM take away the Tidehunter, another hero who, although was given a lot of priority in the TI finals, might not have been the best as far as results go.
Yeah, I think are sort of apprehensive about the team fight potential coming in from Portal Esports. We do see the Tidehunter ban, the Ember Spirit ban, the Rubik ban. So they are wary of the team fight potential, but Portal Esports, though, they have so much tempo and control. A lot of this meta is coming down to like which team can outlast the other team in a team fight. It doesn't matter how much damage you're dishing out. It just matters who's going to be alive. And Wraith King, one of the better picks in this meta, just for this reincarnation, for that tempo and control that he can provide.
It is also, and it's a great pair up with the Ancient Apparition. You've got the Cold Feed that will proc almost 100% of the time with the Wraith King. Now, the problem is you have kind of shown your hand a little bit early. The Wraith King Ancient Apparition lane, as strong as it may be, is still very liable to be countered out. So if MM want to go for something like, I don't know, an Enchantress maybe, even though Enchantress isn't quite the best against Wraith King Ancient, but it's one of those very strong offlaners which can contest farm very well, and if you have a good support like a Tiny or a Shadow Demon with her, that can always be very good. So I wouldn't be surprised if Portal Esports are put into a slightly more difficult position in this safe lane. though, they've got 40 seconds of reserve time left on it, and I feel like this is where they have to decide whether Tiny is a 3 position, if he's a 2 position, if he's a 4 position. Because if he's,
I think they transitioned this Tiny into a support.
Right.
Or with the Sand King pick, I don't. Yeah. So a Tiny functions really well as a
Tiny
support.
Sand King isn't bad.
Yeah, that Tiny Sand King is very good. Even if you decide to, to go for some shenanigans and toss the Tiny in after he casts his epicenter, after he channels that spell.
Remaining.
But we've talked about these things. We've talked about things that sound very good in practice, but often at times you've seen teams not able to execute it how they want to.
Especially with the Tiny Axe in the past.
They do seem to be matching team fight potential for team fight potential, though. So even though they did ban the Tidehunter, Ember, and Rubik, they're not backing down. They want to contest.
I do kind of like the fact that MM do still have certain things open. They can still technically send the Tiny towards the middle lane, pick themselves up something like an Elder Titan if they want to. It's a hero that we've seen a lot of play inside the international scene in general, but a little bit less so perhaps domestically here in Pakistan. Portal Esports, though, if any team's going to play, it's going to be either them or Recreation Hazard, to be honest. I think both teams have got some fantastic support players.
I think one of these teams is going to be going for the Lifestealer. I think MM should be going for a Lifestealer over here.
Against?
Just because of the fact that it's...
Really? Against?
Yeah, I mean, like Lifestealer...
Ancient also completely counted, so Lifestealer, by the way.
Yeah, but they need some hero to actually take down that Ancient Apparition and Mirana from the backline, and that Omni Knight. That Omni Knight is such a good pick over here. It just takes away a lot of the target from their team, because now they have so many heroes to focus on, and Omni Knight you need to be taking the Omni Knight out at the start of the fight, or it just gets super hard from there.
I still think Lifestealer probably doesn't work out over here, but let's see. They do end up showing their hand as far as their mid is concerned. So it will be a 4 position Tiny. It will be okay. They were thinking the same as you. Lifestealer is banned out. Interesting. The Audi will be the mid hero. Who he's against, we don't know yet. We don't know which Showdowns is going to be going for in particular. What do you want to see?
They could go for a Templar Assassin. They could go for a Templar Assassin, because a Templar Assassin with the Omni Knight shield, that can actually do a lot of damage.
The OD is banned. The OD is picked by MM. Otherwise, the OD could have been perfect for Portal Esports as well with the setup for Mirana. Now, they do end up banning the Queen of Pain, which I feel like is a little bit more unlikely that they go for that, but maybe that's just a thing. Wouldn't be too remember, there is still a possibility that we just see Mirana going mid, and we just see another support coming out for Aeon. We just see something like Lena coming out for Aeon, something in those lines. I know he loves to play that.
Remaining.
But
or even a Queen of Pain support. But
5
we do
seconds
see it
remaining.
banned.
but
But
MM have to go
Queen of
for.
Pain really good support these days.
That's true, and no, I mean that's debatable, but I will take your word for it. But MM have to go for their carry right now. The life steal is out of the pool. What do they go for next?
Last year's out of the pool. I think Portal Esports, if they go for a carry, they might go for a Juggernaut because it functions really well with the Omni Knight. MM though, I'm not sure what carry they should be going for here. Perhaps a Phantom Lancer.
Okay.
Oh, a Gyrocopter.
Enough flavor.
Gyrocopter, very good meta pick these days.
Yeah.
Normally, we see a Gyrocopter picked with the IO. A sort of resurgence back from the good old IO
TI
plus
3 days,
carry pair.
yes. It's
Yeah,
still very good with the Shadow Demon though, because you do have yourself the Soul Catcher, you've got yourself the great setup with the Disruptor. It's actually a historically very strong lane with the Shadow Demon Gyrocopter duo, so you could see that coming through.
5 seconds
Beyond that,
remaining.
obviously does still open up some possibilities that if Portal end up throwing a curveball that ends up countering out OD, you can throw the Gyrocopter down towards that mid lane. Have OD take more of a safe lane role, even though that's not really the best of things for an OD to do. But Portal, now they have to make the decision. What is going to be Showdown's pick? They do have enough damage, honestly speaking, so far. It doesn't look like that should be that much of an issue. So even a slightly more heavy playmaking, magic damage kind of hero wouldn't go amiss. The Ember Spirit, which would be the natural.
Yeah, I think they're going to go for a mid-game carry. Oh, they actually go for a Tinker. So this is a Tinker mid and the Wraith King carry.
Yeah. You know what?
Portal Esports,
I'm going to let you quickly think over this, Salah, because we're going to go to a quick little commercial and we'll be back in just a bit. So stay tuned. All right, and we're back. So, Portal Esports, we've got Shizzy on the Tinker. Walk me through strategies afterwards. Just, I want your thoughts on who do you think is taking this just on the basis of the draft.
On the basis of the draft, well, I mean, it entirely depends because both of their strategies seem to be differing. MM have very good teamfight control. So if the game goes late, then I think MM should be taking this game just based on their heroes. So I would go for MM based on their draft.
Honestly, I think that MM's draft is better even if it doesn't go late. MM's got a lot more. They've got the first 12 minutes sort of to work with, 12 to 14 minutes before Shizzy really comes online. And before Titan gets his, Midas. So you've got yourself the point where Gyrocopter is still a bit of a beast with the flat cannon, with the, with the call down, with the rocket barrage, all that magic damage. And then, like you said, if you go super late game, that can always work out in the favor of what's going on. Oh, okay. It was.
Yeah, and Gyrocopter has a global call down now, his ultimate at level 25. So that's definitely, really good against the Tinker because you can actually cast Tinker out with the Gyrocopter.
The thing, though,
we're going to see how this works.
That you do need to find him out later on. And they've got some Blink builders, naturally, which is nice to have against a Tinker, but no one really that gives you the vision of the Tinker. No one really that can chase after a Tinker properly. So that could come back to bite them. Yeah,
especially with the Omni Knight and the Wraith King, man. Like, this is a very deadly combo. I think Portal Esports, their focus is to take down one hero as quickly as possible. The Wraith King and Miranos, they're going to be going in. They're going to be bursting a hero down. The thing is, though, MM has so many heroes which are considered high value targets, right? The OD, you need to take the OD out. The Gyrocopter, you need to take the Gyrocopter out just for the fact that if you leave them alone, they do so much damage. They do around 1,000, 2,000 damage in like seconds. So it's going to be interesting to see who their target is.
Now, I'm really interested about the offlane for Portal Esports right now because we've got KSG, everyone, whatever you like to call him, the legend, some people say. I don't know, I didn't say it, but he might be having a bit of a harder time because Miranashi probably wants to be pressuring over towards mid. Mirana Omni Knight isn't particularly a great lane anyhow, so you either go for a try lane bot so Mirana can pressure over towards mid a bit more, maybe get some kills within the lane, and you sacrifice the experience of the Ancient Apparition and Wraith King, or you kind of just put her down with the Omni Knight and hope that he just gets some farm. So I don't know what you think about this lane coming out, can Omni Knight alone, that's what it looks like, can he really do that much? Because for me, that will be a consistent question mark. Will he get those levels? Will he be able to get the farm he needs? Will he be able to, be in a position to rotate and be effective in the mid game to transition through to a point where Tinker is good? And that's a big question mark that I'm waiting to see answered.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I don't think Omni Knight will be able to get much gold. I mean, Gyrocopter, Rocket Barrage, Flak Cannon, all incredibly good zoning abilities. And the problem that I see over here is, okay, Omni Knight is going offlane, right? But the enemy team has a Shadow Demon, a Tiny, a Sand King.
Yeah.
So who exactly teleports in to save the Tinker?
I mean,
before Tinker gets to go for travels. So, because once they go on the Tinker, right, you have that very short window in which you need to TP in instantly. You need to TP the Omni Knight instantly so that he can get his Heavenly Grace or his Purification off. And you're not going to have that much time, right? Because the Tinker is going to fall within seconds. The Tinker is going to fall, 2 or 3 abilities you use, and the Tinker is dead.
But Ancient Apparition is not that bad for TP countering if he's their own time because of the additional damage and how frustrating it is to deal with cold feet. But yeah, I see where you're coming from. Obviously there's always that big question that everyone asks these days. I love the question in the draft, which is that where is the save? And Portal doesn't really have one. That's one thing where they could really be regretting in the draft later on, is that they don't have a save and they're largely going to be relying on either Mirana just being present beforehand and trying to hit arrows to a point where Aeon can be that assistance that he needs, the consistent right hand, or Shiraz just kind of pure out skills this out. Now, nice little arrow combination to his bot lane. I might need to lower my game sound volume because it's incredibly loud. Not gonna lie, I just realized I did not adjust to casting.
Run like the dogs
But
you are.
that's slightly more normal. That is not my...
Yeah, this is what we were talking about, man. Stun combos, a 3-second arrow into cold feed, that's a guaranteed freeze there, and a very easy kill coming out.
So, Wraith King, he gets free farm. So is Wraith King kind of the person you're looking towards that, hey, Titan, buddy, can you, make sure we don't just lose the game? So does that mean he can't go Midas, something like that? Does that mean he has to kind of stick around, go for more fighting type items?
Yeah, I don't think he should be going Midas. They have a Tinker on their
block
team.
on the bot lane from the arrow, so Sand King might have actually saved Tiny's life for a little while longer, but Demo goes down regardless of the toss, so Ghost Hunt does pick up that kill.
Very early lead coming on. Tiny falling down twice. This is their offlane. Oh, actually, it's their support. So, well, not really a
Top
big
lane,
loss
hold
coming
that
out,
thought.
but
It's going to be another kill, actually. They've got some stacks coming out onto Ebimon. Maybe does have himself the stick, but with 4 charges off the Shadow Poison, it should have just been Cyrus to get the kill. But 7 says that, you know what, I want 1 too, so why not? You can have it, 7. You can have it. This is where the trade of safe lanes comes to be like a factor, which is that mid safe lane is going to be more impactful. You've got the Wraith King, which can fight early on, but it's also a Wraith King that really likes to go Midas and Radiance. So, on the other hand, you've got Gyrocopter, who maybe isn't as survivable, but he's got mad magical damage, and once he gets a bit of farm up, then those right clicks can hurt quite a bit as well.
Yeah, I don't think this is a Midas game. I really don't think this is a Midas game. Dire's lineup is so heavily mid-game and late-game favored that if you go for a Midas and Tinker is not able to snowball, then you might just lose the game. We do see MM coming out ahead though, because Radiant are choosing to go for a safe lane tri-lane. An aggressive tri-lane might have worked better because Omni Knight would have been able to get those levels, but they are going to get Sand King is gonna have a very good time over here. He's just gonna get so many levels. And Demo will go down over here again. That is his third
Run
death.
like the dogs you
That
are.
was the supports taking him out. So very well played actually. Mirana and Ancient Apparition is definitely a good combo.
Speaking of Mirana, she's going mid. She could actually get that kill on Revenge.
Oh, Tinker.
Revenge got to be careful. Aeon, that arrow can of course penetrate the trees. Never really an issue for the Mirana. Let's see how this goes. Arrow moving forward. It doesn't quite get vision of Revenge. Revenge does know it's here. So now he just has to be a little bit more careful with the Astral Imprisonment. Probably wants to keep it so he can use it on himself. Does Shadow Demon have a TP? Yes, he does. So Revenge, perfectly fine. Aeon just taking a little bit of attention towards him, but
Oh, Mirana does get
careful.
spotted out. Aeon.
He could be tossed over in the middle of the leap. That's exactly what happens. Aeon should end up going down right here. Revenge, very happy with that. Some tips coming through as well. Good to see that.
Yeah,
MM is putting up
Demo
a show.
definitely making up his deaths over there. Very well timely toss placed over there. Mirana, just as she was leaping, could not get out. And
Look at his
just
levels.
does not have the movement speed to get away.
3.5 minutes in. This is so tragic. And now, I mean, Devil's trying to get away as well. He should have the goal peak procced on him. Will be brought down by a crit. And Demo, you may be level 2, but what do? Literally nothing. That's the problem.
The issue that I'm seeing is Shadow Demon is choosing to babysit the gyrocopter. I'm not sure what sort of kill potential an Omni Knight has towards the gyrocopter. He doesn't seem to have the abilities to take him down.
I don't think he
So
can.
Shadow Demon should be. Yeah, I don't think he
Aeon
can. So
there
Shadow
now.
Demon.
I guess if you hit an arrow, but even there, it's just Gyrocopter is one of the heroes with very high turn speed. That's actually it's a small factor that people don't generally consider when it comes to the arrows. You can juke them much more easily with that kind of hero. But now 5-minute runes are coming up. They're going to be slight congestion for those towards the bot lane. So still should be a 2 for 2 largely. I think top 2 should go towards the Radiant side. But
Revenge is actually doing pretty well against this Tinker. You'd expect just because the Tinker has laser and rockets and like harass ability. Their CS is
Never,
actually
come on.
pretty
I know
much
you're a
even.
terrible mid player, but it's an OD.
Yeah, a Tinker, you can't 1v1 against a Tinker, man. Like, March of the Machines, you cannot be going up to the wave.
No. Demo is now on his 4th death of the game. A little bit unfortunate, but like I
And
said,
Omni Knight's gonna get a really fast level 6 over here. We see the creep in pushing in.
look at the net worth, yeah, man. Like, that is worrying. Cyrus might be getting a decent lane, but he's not even getting anywhere close to the last hits. Ibby's actually doing a surprisingly good job of contesting, despite, like you mentioned, the Shadow Demon very much babysitting that top lane. So Ibby's getting 23 last hits and 7 denies so far. Mid lane though, we do see Demo going into a Shizzy, tosses him back. Revenge is here, but inside the mark, Shizzy might actually have a chance to get a return kill, and indeed he does. Demo does get a lot of experience for that one.
He had that Astral Imprisonment up. There is no reason why he didn't use that. He could have saved himself. He could have taken the Tinker out. Both options available because of that ability. But perhaps a misplay coming out there. Perhaps they thought the Tinker would go down.
Probably didn't realize
Oh,
how
Demo.
high level the Marks of the Machines were, because level 3.
There is a shrine available, so Demo will be safe over here. Become a bit too close for comfort. The shrine has been used, so
Put that sentry down,
they
Demo.
can't.
Put that sentry down, Demo. Get that farm on the creep. Not the creep, the ward. Oh, well done.
Oh, arrow missing just by an inch.
Oh, well. You know what, though? Aeon's got a consolation prize. That's Demo, who ends up
Oh,
going
nice.
down. But Demo with a nice toss will even get some levels from that one. So that huge experience disadvantage is somewhat going away.
Well, Demo can actually. Demo's tosses are actually really good. So, even though he might be falling behind over here, he might just actually make it up, because once he gets those levels in toss, then there's no telling what he's gonna do. They are going in on the Omni Knight at top.
not an easy kill to get. AB's just healing himself up, using the Heavenly Grace. He used to be Repel. I'm just trying to remember what it's called. Using the Heavenly Grace on himself will end up falling to 7 once again. But again, the problem is, I mean, Cyrus, the damage is done. He's got 30 lost hits. Compare that to the 45 of Wraith King. That is literally 33.33% less. I mean, Wraith King even finishing off that Midas, and I wouldn't blame him with the kind of start that he's had. That is a great Midas timing. 7 minutes and 50 seconds. Ooh. Devil, that is a question and a half that I have for you. Titan will not be going down. He will even get the Midas
Titan
out.
did not have that mana for his reincarnation. That would have been such a clutch play, such a good play, but just not coming out ahead there. Very unfortunate.
I mean,
And that will only snowball Titan even more.
Go ahead though, Demo man. He's made a comeback. He has made a comeback. He's level 5 in a bit. Mirana is level 4. I mean, Pink is not comparable. I don't know why I'm comparing the mid to the support, but it's okay. I do dumb things sometimes.
This is a very crucial point in the game. I mean, they need to be taking this Tinker out. They did go in on a Tinker once, but it wasn't that successful. He did end up going down, but he got the kill before it. And with this creep build, he might be getting...
Cyrus making sure that he's close by enough to be able to get out quite a bit of damage, but there's a return because Aeon comes through. He gets the arrow. Cyrus does have the cooldown going in, but AB actually managed to dodge both the hits, and that means Cyrus is trapped in between a rock and a hard place. However, he's got himself some backup, and Revenge comes through from behind, staying true to his name. He's got the Astral Imprisonment, has got the hammer as well. I don't think dropping it will get him the kill. Maybe he'll just end up dropping the hammer. Please, come on, man, that's worth it. Just drop the hammer. Aeon juking in the trees. You probably just want to get that kill quickly, but at the end of the day, I guess, you know, you save the Sanity's Eclipse. May as well. Bottom lane. Suddenly Devil's got himself quite a bit of space to work around with against this Wraith King.
Shizzy still quite a bit out of his boots of travel. He should be getting it in the 11 to 12 minute mark, which is pretty good. But they do see Shizzy over here. They are smoked up, both OD and Demo. Yeah. So he's going to walk right into them.
Oh, Shizzy's caught. This is the worst possible time. 1,500 gold on him, and now he should end up taking a fall. Even the bounty runes will be lost. Demo's just making sure he sticks around long enough to get the kill. But even if they get both kills, honestly, I think that might still be worth it. Revenge has to be careful, has to make sure that he's close enough to 7 that he can be disrupted, but there comes out the Astral Imprisonment. Evimon's trying to get close enough to be able to get the purification damage as well. Revenge should end up going down once again. Well, you know, this time, okay, never mind. He did have the Astral Imprisonment off of cooldown. I'm a little bit silly, but still, perhaps should have chosen to back off while the Astral was going on. A little bit overzealous.
He could have also popped his Sanity's Eclipse, and that might have transitioned into another kill. Perhaps he wanted to hold it there. It is a 160-second cooldown, so a very big commitment for a support kill there. Perhaps he wants to save it for another Tinker kill.
I mean, still, a huge kill on Tinker coming out. That's why I'm not significantly. Unfortunately, Shiraz is back up to 1900. This time, they're nowhere near killing him. Bot lane.
Yeah, he's gonna get it.
Got the reincarnation out. And this could be a big one. Now, they do want to start moving close enough to be able to get him, but the phase boots are very, very evasive, and it's not a level 4 Burrow Strike, so Sand King, unfortunately, not quite able to get him. Level 4 Sandstorm being... You know, it was nice for the lane, but less nice when you're trying to do much else.
Ice Blast just missing there. OD is going for a Midas.
Oh, what's this? They've got the Gyrocopter here. Cyrus making his way over. Homing Missile as well. So Shrine will not save Titan for too long. They've got quite a bit of damage. He even spawns the skeletons to try and split the damage across the Rocket Barrage. So looks like should be a transition to tier 1 for tier 1 trade. Maybe even more actually for the Radiant side.
I don't think Dire can get this tower over here. I think they're going to come and defend.
Yeah, Shiraz is here with the monster as well. The boots have traveled and not that great with that. Oh, wow! What an ultimate! He might even be able to get both of them. Gyrocopter's down. He's dead. He can't live through this.
Oh, missile is coming in, so even if he didn't take down the Ice Blaster, he would have died to the missile.
That's fantastic. I mean, for Ghost Khan especially, that is so good for him. He's going for the 4-star directly. No, Midas for the Ancient Apparition. Probably for the best against something like a Gyrocopter. Are they going in on the bottom top lane? Looks like they want to. They do have Tiny coming in from the sidelines. Tiny's very high levels. He's got himself the stun. He's got himself that quick little interesting decision to make right there. I wouldn't have used the GA, but I suppose maybe with Tinker coming through, they might be able to get themselves a little bit something extra. But Seven's still here. He's got the disruption in 3 seconds. Sanity is dropped. They've got the call on as well. Shiggy overextends beyond his years, and he will have his years shortened quite a bit. So 2-for-1 trade.
Very clutch play by Revenge coming out there. We remember last time Revenge did not use his Astral Imprisonment to save himself. This time he learned from his mistake and stopped Shizzy from getting that kill on him.
Dire's middle tower
That was...
We do see a lot of towers falling for Dire over here. And remember, they're facing against the Tinker over here, and they don't really have good pushing heroes, so they need to be taking at least 1 or 2 tier 2s before the 20-minute mark. I mean, or 15-minute mark.
Especially when you keep in mind, like, Tinker is always supposed to be considered super high mobility and whatnot, but Tinker's not that high mobility if you take away all the tier 1s and 1 or 2 tier 2s. Like, that limits the places he can, you know, initially TP to and have places within the jungle he can farm a lot more effectively. So yes, he'll always have the creeps to go to, but you kind of make it slightly difficult for him to get to a jungle fight. You kind of make it slightly difficult for him to get a river fight. That's why you need to minimize those towers. A lot of people forget that about the Tinker.
Demo did pick up his Blink Dagger. Very good Blink timing actually. 14 minutes in, he got a kill on the Mirana.
Well, man. He's level 10. He's 1 level behind Titan. Titan has a Midas.
Oh, Tinker is going to go down over here.
I mean, this is big. This is huge. The cooldown will be able to get that last in, and on the sidelines, Ghost Khan will be next to fall. Now, they do try and keep on fighting it up. Demo, with the help of the Blink Dagger, will be able to get away, courtesy of Disruption, to keep his Blink off cooldown. Now, he doesn't have the Avalanche for a little while longer, so Cyrus will be the casualty in exchange. But
Radiant's middle tower is under
not
attack.
the worst of team fights coming up from the Dire side. Now, they do not manage to bring Titan down. They do not manage to force him back either, so Titan does get a bit of a farm
Demo
boost.
is walking in. He is going to see Aeon. Oh, he's going to get Aeon.
That's not worth it, though. He's really high level.
That is...
He's really high level.
Yeah,
he's level 12.
He's level 12, man.
He's insane. Their
He's
OD is
actually
level 12.
functioning as a core. He's functioning as a core hero, man. Like, he has just about the same amount of farm. So
Demo's legitimately the highest level. Not the highest experience, but, you know, until 5 seconds ago when Shiraz became 13, he was the highest level hero in the game. As the guy who died 4 times and was level 1 at 4 minutes. That is some comeback, man. That's like comparing me and never mind. I never became pretty. It's okay. Am I gonna become pretty one day?
we are going to see a very crucial timing coming out. The 20-minute mark will be where... What question did you ask?
Am I ever gonna become pretty, fella?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm the wrong person to ask
You're a
that
doctor,
stuff
Talha.
from. I have
You
bad
should know
news
about
for
my
you.
biology.
I have bad news for you. You don't give patients information out like that. You don't hurt their feelings.
Yes, you do. You tell them they have cancer sometimes. That sounds like it hurt my feelings a lot more than me not being pretty. You know what else hurts?
Oh,
Feelings,
he
though?
is going to go
Death
down over
hurts
here. He is going to after himself up.
Run like the dogs you are.
Revenge is gonna be dead, is what I was trying to get to. I don't know if you picked it up.
Revenge is dead. A lot of crucial items coming out over here, so we are going to be transitioning into the mid-game phase where Wraith King is going to have his Radiant, Tinker is going to be having his items, his Gaia in his Gagon if he chooses to go for that later on. Mirana farming, Mirana's still pretty far off, but...
Cyrus might be put out mid lane. Gyrocopter should be quick to fall, and as much damage as he may have done, it seems slightly underwhelming now that you look at it. His farm has somewhat gone down quite a bit, to be honest. He's got the drums, he's got the face boost, he's got the basic mobility items, but ever since then...
Yeah, he should not be fighting before he gets his
Yeah.
BKB up. I mean, he needs his BKB, and with his BKB, they can actually do a lot of damage because Radiant, almost all of their abilities are magic damage at this point.
Does the purification damage go through
Top tower
BKB?
is under attack.
Yes, it does.
Yes. Oh, Tinker! Oh, narrowly making it out.
Almost got himself the tie up.
Oh, Tinker's actually gonna go down overhead.
No, but they're going to this fight. They might end up getting a little bit more on the flank. Titan is here. The Ancient Apparition Ultimate does land onto Devil, but no one else. So he does have the epicenter available. So if they want to pursue him into the Roche pit, it won't be the easiest decisions to make. But in the back lines, there is still Ebimon. So if they can find him out, that would still be a major deal. Ebimon doing some damage, will be pursued up by that homing missile, but the status resistance should help him shrug that off. Now they're starting to fight over here. Great avalanche to make sure that the players are inside that. Call down Cyrus now in hot retreat. I mean, it's like hot pursuit, but running away. So Ebimon suddenly finds out probably not the best of ideas to run into a shrine where you don't have vision, and he ends up going down. So 3-for-1 trade, fantastic for the Dire's side, and they're not done quite yet. Do they have any sort of vision? Doesn't look like it. I think they should be able to force them back as well.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
19-minute
Oh,
radiance.
he is going to abandon that Midas because not really an item you want to be getting at this point, especially since the game is becoming so team fight centered at this stage.
Was he really going Midas after his veil?
Well, he wanted to get an early Midas, but the opportunity did not present. So I like this play. I like if you're
19-minute radiance. That's so good. Given how much fighting has been happening, it's very good. Well, that's a shame. Demo ends up going down again. Moonlight Shadow from the Radiant side. Nice arrow.
Oh, very nice arrow plays by Aeon, and that's gonna be a solo kill.
Absolutely perfect.
He hit the arrow without any vision whatsoever. Very impressive.
I feel like that was a scouting arrow.
Like the dogs you are.
But I mean, it could have been, but it landed. So like, you know, that transition.
It's not a scouting arrow if it's landing.
Yeah.
Dire's bottom tower.
And you know,
They
if
are
it's
going to
not landing,
transition
then it's a
this
scouting
quick
arrow.
here.
That's how it works.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
That's the other loss.
Is under attack.
I mean, MM, I'm
Gyro
not gonna
Copter
lie,
will
they're
have his
looking
BKB
good
though.
so far, Paula. There's just a couple of issues coming out of here and there. It's just Cyrus, maybe a few deaths, maybe a few places where they've overextended and you know, lost out a lead on the Gyro Copter. But
Has fallen.
beyond that, what else? What else can they really do much wrong? Their supports have been rocking the Radiant side. That's
Well, Radiant definitely, they're showing that they have a lot more experience, you know, just because of their veteran players. Even though they are losing a bit on these game fights, they are getting out ahead. I mean, if you look at the map control, they're managing to split push, they're managing to take towers, and which is just about what they want to do at this stage. I mean, they just want to drag it out.
Look at how much vision the Dire side has, so it's very interesting where there was a place. I don't know how effective that vision is, but it's quite a lot of it at the very least. And they do have themselves some protection, so those Hanis are quite as safe as he'd like to be. They're going in onto Demo. Demos catches that arrow, so Devil should be able to come through and give them a little bit of backup. Where is that observer ward? That's right over there, outside, barely outside of the vision of that sentry, so slightly unfortunate for them. That's a great ward for the Radiant side. They will have complete vision of anyone who wants to initiate in onto them. 7 does pop that smoke as well from up top. He wants to go and he wants to get that disruption now, but instead it's Demo moving forward. He's got the avalanche, he's got a toss, but it's not onto any of the heroes. So suddenly Cyrus becomes a lot more underwhelming. BKB or not, everyone can just run away from him. They've got the GA out as well. Sand King trying to come through with the epicenter, can't quite charge it up yet, so that big old magic damage will not be coming through until a bit too late. Aeon gets the arrow, but he ends up juking it out. So at the end of the day, it still is just 2 players falling down very quickly to become 3, as 7 will be the next casualty.
And they are going to be moving in towards that tier 3 tower. Radiant 20 minutes in, very crucial item, very crucial timing. And they are transitioning this really well. Aeon hitting the arrow on a TPing gyrocopter without any vision. See, that was definitely a scouting arrow.
Nah, 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 man. That was calculated.
And they might just be looking to take Roshan over here, and after which they will be pushing that tier 3.
Like the dogs you are.
Man, but Gyro is so underwhelming that last game fight. He just didn't do anything. He doesn't have the farm for it. That's a problem.
He doesn't have the farm for it. We've seen Dire overextending and losing out on their heroes. Their cores were rotating all around the map. We saw the OD rotate, we saw the Dire rotate, and while that is a good idea, if you do get the kills, you need to instantly transition to farming stage after that. And Gyrocopter did not really manage to do that very well.
And the other thing over here, like, I mean, you know, there's taken some team fights which don't make that much sense. Even the previous team fight, which ended up losing out, that was after their tier 2 had already fallen down. They weren't in position to go for a great initiation stun onto multiple people. They weren't able to get the Omni Knight early in, you know, when the toss didn't land. That's one of those points where you maybe just say, hey, let's back off, make sure we can get a bit of farm. Showdown he's blinked in, but let him die. Aeon rush the Aghanim's. You can change the player's position, but you can't really change the player.
I think Tiny should be going for a Scepter over here. Shadowblade, probably not the best of items. Aghanim Scepter on a Tiny, insane item. I mean, you cannot go fighting in a closed circle with a Scepter Tiny. You just die.
Roche Pit, high ground, it's great at defense, but you do kind of want to have the Echo Saber with that as well, so that's a bit too much farm for him to perhaps ask. Now, Tiny backing off, he's not scouted out, but they are going uphill just to make sure then they can get some vision up in the jungle probably. Radiant are slightly starved for vision.
Aeon does pick up that Scepter, and that is a guaranteed kill on most arrows that he lands, actually.
These are really weird wards being put down. Like, I don't mind them because you can't deward them very easily, but you know, these little wards, one over here, one over here, it's just...
They will be taking down Roshan, and after Roshan, they will be transitioning into a high ground push. We're gonna see how Dire defend this, because Dire do have abilities that defend high ground very well. I mean, Sand King, Epicenter, Gyrocopter, Tiny Toss in, OD, very good heroes. So we're gonna see how well they can execute this. Oh, I'm not sure if they should be defending their tier 2 over here. They should just let this go. Radiant does have an Aegis, and that Aegis is on the Wraith King. Those are 3 lives they need to be taking out.
Wraith King's gotta be careful.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
But right now, Devil.
Sand King is in dangerous territory over here. He's actually surrounded by Radiant heroes. They don't know where he is, so he is safe for now. But he's probably going to hide in the trees for Tinker.
This is where I
think,
Tinker he's getting incredibly close to the side device as well. When they get that, they will still have the Aegis, they will still have the 3 lines, and maybe even 4 if they're able to extend the team fight long enough for the Wraith King, and that's where things get tricky. You'll even have potentially the level 20 talent for the Wraith King. That's a dead Tiny. He's got himself the buyback, but how much that matters, I'm not 100% sure. This game feels very, very one-sided suddenly. And you know, if you look at the graphs, it's reflecting that. It's 8,000 experience, 16,000 net worth lead for the Radiant side. Portal is looking fantastic.
OD does have his BKB up, so he can actually Astral the Wraith King, and there will be no damage that he will be taking after that point. So
Iden moving up, does have himself that return homing missile, which is actually quite frustrating for Cyrus to deal with. He'll have to cop that quickly, but in they go. They're initiating in on the back lines. They don't get too much done. Devil will die almost immediately, and they've got no follow-up whatsoever without the Tiny to toss someone back. So this team fight becomes a lot more difficult without the Sand King and his epicenter. Suddenly, you still do have the Wraith King firing back homing missiles onto Cyrus. So Cyrus won't be able to BKB up either to be able to save those away. He wants to save the BKB for when they actually want to engage. Titan, in the meanwhile, more than happy enough just to continue bashing away on these Raxes. And he did even end up going for the 2-time skeleton spawned talent, so they will have the additional pushing power as well. Titan's got to be careful. He even uses the blade meal. They're tossing him back, but that's not the play you want to go on when he's got himself that fantastic Aegis that lets you live through anything, that lets you be perfectly fine, and the reincarnation comes with it as well. So Titan, I mean, this is exactly what they wanted. He doesn't even lose his Aegis just yet. 30 seconds left. He can reset, come back into it. Mid lane is pushing in. They can just go for another set of Raxes.
This is not the play that you wanted to make. Tossing in the Wraith King, not the ideal hero. You should toss in the Tinker or the Mirana, you know, or the Ancient Apparition and take them down. But
Biden. That's so many skeletons. And they're tossed back. Okay. Again, my friend, I need to repeat. Not the best of ideas to go into a Wraith King who has 3 lives, literally, maybe in 4. Now, Titan is just going to be very happy continually farming away on these Raxes. Now, he is gone on, but Devil, immediately the Dagon comes out from the Tinker. Titan moves forward as well to get the stun out onto Revenge. He will end up going down. The OD can't do anything. Cyrus is already half HP, but he will be able to get some kills at the very least. However, the return fire is insufficient. They've got the hammer to drop down the Aegis, but here comes back that Wraith King to continue fighting up. Titan disrupted up, forced out back down to the low ground. They do get the Tinker kill. That's a big one. But beyond that, losing 2 melee Raxes, even the range back almost out. That is
and they do Demo coming in with that toss. I think Demo's really good at using that Tiny with that avalanche and toss. I just think that he needs to prioritize his targets better.
Yeah.
Like the dogs you are.
Like really better. Like
a lot better.
what he thinks he's doing right, he needs to, like, you know, change that. So
he was great in the early mid game. It's just right now going on to the Wraith King, who, you know, unless you can go onto the back lines as soon as you toss the Wraith King back, so that you can make sure that, okay, fine, Wraith King is kind of just going to be kited around by the disruption, by the Astral Imprisonment, while Gyrocopter keeps on beating up on everyone in the back lines. That's fine. That's great. But you don't have the positioning to allow that to happen. So maybe that was the game plan they were going for. Maybe that's kind of the rationale behind it. But, you know, until that happens, it's slightly harder to go on to Wraith King.
Tinker does have a Dagon 4, going to be picking up that Dagon 5. That's 800 magical damage is going to be coming out. Not sure how Dire is supposed to deal with this.
I'm going to tell you how. I'm going to tell you how. Everyone gets hoods.
Everyone gets hoods and everyone gets blade mills.
Okay, you went one step further. You went one step further. I like this. I like where you're going with this.
Dire's bottom
March of the
tower
Machines,
is under
hoods,
attack.
you're good to go.
You know, and this is what we were talking about, just meta game. No, not the blade mill, the meta game. The meta game where you have, it's a question between who is going to survive, right? It's just teams focusing on their sustain, focusing on the control, you know, both of the teams, Radiant and Dire. But the one who, the team that's able to control the other team better usually comes out on top.
Cyrus. BKB is down to 8 seconds, but that's perfectly fine. He's got the Aghanim Scepter with a
Cyrus Devil is gonna get the Tinker with the soul.
I missed that. I did miss that. He does end up being a 1-for-1 trade, but that's a huge one. They can go in. They've got the BKB on Revenge. They've got the Guardian Angel to be able to keep him alive for a little while longer, but Apimon's already down and out. Titan wants to turn in and get everyone down because the BKBs have run out, so he can get the stuns up, but he's being kited away. They can't quite pursue. Aeon's dead because the Sanity's Eclipse is too much damage. Titan's stunned up as well. They've got the Veil to follow through, and this is a high ground that they simply can't reach. Fantastic kill from Devil, allowing them to get a beautiful defense.
Yeah, I mean, if they win this game, Sandping is the undisputed MVP of this game. Just catching that Tinker out, allowing his team to take that fight. Without the Tinker, there is no way that fight would have gone the way they expected it to. We see the gold lead taking a sharp drop. It was around 18k, 20k, and now it's just down to 13k.
Still, it is a tall mountain to climb. I think will not always be cut out like that, unfortunately, but it's a good start. It's a good start, I think. If they can transition into tier 2, you know, it's a bit of extra gold coming their way.
They did pick up their gem as well, so the gem that they
big.
had
On
the Tiny.
I mean, they still didn't deward the wards, unfortunately, but regardless.
Oh, Tiny is going to be. That was okay. I know that was a scouting arrow. Okay, I know that was a scouting arrow.
You gotta have faith in Aeon. You gotta have faith in Aeon. You don't know. He's the king.
Aeon knows. Aeon's Mirana has next level map hacks. Like he just sees everything. He doesn't need the gem. He doesn't need the gem. He doesn't need his Moonlight Shadow. Just needs his eyes.
Listen, man, he's got the throne. That's all he needs. He was the MVP last year at the New Gamers Arena 2018. That's what MVPs do. They value. They create value.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, Aeon, you're going to be looking at him in a support position and you're going to go like, okay, this is one of the most deadliest players in the scene right now, but he's playing a support, so what do we do here?
BKB's up next to the Tinker. I mean, Shiraz knows he's got everything he possibly wants. Maybe Sanj and Kaya would be nice, to be honest. I wouldn't mind the Sanj and Kaya. I feel like just the additional, 8% mana cost reduction is so good.
They are under the effect of Moonlight Shadow. And
Revenge could end up going down. He's a bit too far forward. He doesn't expect it. They've got the 4-star forward, but he's forced to BKB his way out. That was a 7-second BKB. What am I even saying? He BKB'd quite a few times before. Never mind. Still an important little milestone. And Tiny with the gem is being summoned back to the base.
Tiny will be going towards that scepter. He would have added it if he didn't go for the Shadow Blade, but not sure how much value the Shadow Blade has provided, but
I do like this though. He went for the toss. Requires no target. That's quite good the way he's playing. So if he actually ends up maybe even tossing the Wraith King to the side, tossing him to some odd corner where he can't reach, then remember Wraith King doesn't have blink that long. So
Wraith King doesn't have blink anyway.
That's the point. That's what I'm saying. He doesn't have blink. Like, he doesn't have a blink dagger. So he can't get back into the fight if he's lost to some random playstyle. How is this so hard for you to follow, Tala?
I'm not good with logic, man.
It's alright, Tala. That's the only thing you're not good with.
It's surprising to see that Radiant do not have a Veil on their team.
What? A Veil?
A Whale? Yeah, a Whale of Discord. I mean, Mirana, Starstorm, extremely good ability in this meta. Ancient Apparition, Tinker March, Tinker Laser, Tinker Rockets, Tinker Dagon.
I'm most surprised that,
it's just magic damage.
That they don't have, like, a little bit more of a high ground sieging thing. Like, Vladimir's on the Omni Knight maybe, and maybe even a Crimson Guard being built up, something on those lines. He does have a pipe at the very least, so that's quite nice, but I'm just would be expecting more of that when you have this sizable lead. And remember, this 16k gold is very big, yes, but as time goes on, it matters less and less and less.
Definitely, and the gold lead does not give any indication to how much damage the team can output, because even if the gold lead, either hero could die on either side in a few seconds. but they will be going for that Roshan. They will be committing towards the same play that worked for them last time, you know, getting that Aegis and pushing that high ground in a sustained fight, using the Omni Knight for the Heavenly Grace, while the Wraith King just whacks at the tower, you know. It's a proven strategy, very old strategy, and it works.
I don't know about that, because now that everyone has, like,
I think,
you know, the big items on the Dire side, like, you know, all the important BKBs, you know, you've got yourself now the makings of a butterfly on the gyrocopter as well. It's become a lot harder.
Oh, Tinker, he might just be caught over here. He does blink away. They do see him, they do spot him out thanks to that observer ward.
Oh, Demo scouted out, Demo. That was a scouting arrow, Tala, that was a scouting arrow.
No, that was a timed arrow. That's why he
scouting
missed.
arrow. That was a scouting arrow. 7 uses a Yule Scepter to keep himself alive a little while longer. Aeon, though, is going to be able to... Actually, it's Aeon's Yule Scepter. Never mind. Aeon gets the arrow regardless. He's perfectly fine. He doesn't have buyback on 7, unfortunately. Which means that suddenly this becomes a lot harder to defend. Slightly poor on the glyph timing for the Dire side. But they've got to try and make this work for themselves. Devil is going to have to go in pretty soon. He goes through. Actually, Wraith King ends up coming forward because of the Warrior Strike that is returned. He will lose that reincarnation soon enough. But as it turns out, it won't be soon enough for the Dire side. Cyrus now into the fray he goes, trying to fight directly into Aeon. Aeon should have ended up going down, but with the leaves he's able to get himself away. Jam of Suicide on the ground will not matter. Demo doesn't have the ability to blink himself out anymore, so he's forced to go into the Shadow Blade. Wants to still go forward, but with the Sentry Ward that's already been dropped, he can't commit too hard. However, neither can the Radiant side. They make the decision to back off just a little bit. Still, points are here to be had. Titan still does have himself the reincarnation. He's got to be careful if he gets taken down by the OD ultimate. He might not have quite enough mana to be able to use his ultimate himself. He didn't go for that particular talent, so OD does still have a chance to quickly take him down. However, no longer, as Shizzy moves forward, has the Dagon, has the laser, and will be able to get them that first game. We're going to be heading to game 2 soon enough. That was a lot less one-sided than you'd think, with the gold lead being 28,000 net worth at the end.
Yeah, I mean, Dire had a chance to take the game up until the very end, up until when Shadow Demon decided that the game was no longer worth playing. Okay. So they had a good chance, and they had a decent chance. I mean, it wasn't that morbid. It's just you know, one mistake in a 40-minute game can actually cost you the entire game, and that is what we saw. Not taking away from the incredible effort Radiant put in, or the goal lead and the experience lead they managed to cover up, but Dire did put in a very, very good fight.
Well, with that being said, we'll be heading over to a short break, and we'll be back with game number 2 shortly.
डर से भागना क्या गेम से डरना क्या the game is in you the arena's waiting for you let out your war cry तू जीत के दिखा डर के आगे आ दुनिया को competition we're in this to win this no mistakes now one wrong move you're out of the
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
I think this game should be a lot closer than the last game. You know, MM having some issues last game where they didn't know how to take control
Radiant
of the
team
advantage that they're gaining from team fights, from pickoffs. Hopefully, this game they will be looking to correct that. He was absolutely amazing.
10 seconds
Yeah, and
remaining.
I'd actually like to see a tiny core. You know, if they do go for it, I want to
5
see what he
seconds
does with on
remaining.
that core position. He did better than their support, than their offlane and their cores, though. You know, strictly from um, utilizing the hero's potential.
Dire team pick.
They didn't win though. They didn't win though.
Radiant team pick.
Mariska has arrived.
Radiant team pick.
Perhaps they might go for an IO and gyro pick
10
should they decide
seconds
to go for
remaining.
gyro again. Gyro didn't really do all that well last
5
game, but
seconds remaining.
they definitely could have made more use out of that pick. Yeah, and Aeon definitely he did transition to a support role, but he seems to be playing a support role, you know, much like his core role, where he's just a really flashy player. If you guys remember from last time on where Aeon was playing his Mirana, landing so many arrows, opening up so many opportunities, you know, just as flashy as Aeon on his Storm Spirit or TA or Tinker. So he might not be an indigenous support player, but he definitely knows the game to the point where he could be put on any role and he'd do amazing.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Witch Doctor, though, a very good hero for sustain, you know, that those stuns that bounce to other heroes, that heal ability that the Witch Doctor can provide, and the Death Ward. Um, you know, a lot of this meta comes down to sustain and control, and Witch Doctor is a really good hero for that.
Dire team ban. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban.
And Void functioning so well with the Witch Doctor, in that Chronosphere, that paralyzing cast. Not to mention, another fun combination is that you could actually toss someone into the Chronosphere. I mean, again, something.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I would,
team
because TI is a very big tournament and a lot of people watch it. Yeah, they banned Naga and they banned Meepo in the previous game. They do ban out the Shadow Demon as well. Shadow Demon, I'm not sure why they banned the Shadow Demon this time around. Their heroes doesn't seem to be much of a problem here, but
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds.
I think this game is going to come down to the core picks, because many of these players, they function really well on their cores. They're flashy players. They play their cores really well. So this game is going to be a core versus core matchup. And just who comes out on top.
Tidehunter.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Juggernaut.
This will be a good lane for the Tidehunter. I mean, Tidehunter does really well against melee cores. And we do see that Yeah, Juggernaut and Jakiro. Well, he may not have the best of times, but he's going to get his levels. I mean, you're not going to be harassing a Tidehunter out of the lane.
10 seconds remaining.
Jakiro's pretty frustrating. I think the combination of Jakiro and Juggernaut, because of the healing ward, because of the sustained tower damage that they can dish out, this is going to be, them taking down towers in the mid game, going in with their heroes. With Radiant going to be countering them, because Juggernaut, he is good at taking down towers with his healing ward. Jakiro obviously has been known for that fire damage on the towers, but they have a lot of team fight potential. MM, 3 stuns, a troll warlord. If you're caught out of position, if your team is not in the perfect position to take a team fight, you can actually just lose horribly. A Batrider pickup coming in. Batrider, Batrider into a Juggernaut Omnislash that gives you a guaranteed kill, but the question is, who is he going to lasso? Because he's not going to be lassoing the Troll Warlord. He can't lasso the Tidehunter. I mean, if you lasso the Troll Warlord, it's a question of whether you're able to kill him in time, because if he activates his ultimate, then that's going to be a very, very dangerous position, because that is going to be an opportunity for Tidehunter to come in with his Ravage. It's going to be an opportunity for Tiny to come in, stun toss, Witch Doctor. There's so much to counter the Batrider.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Perhaps they will combine the Batrider
Dire
with
team pick.
a synergized pick in the last phase, perhaps an Invoker with that Sunstrike. They could go for a Magnus over here, but a Magnus, again, you have a Batrider to sort of, do the same thing. I'm not sure.
10 seconds remaining.
Speaking of Shizzy heroes, I mean, Shizzy's been
5
countered
seconds
really
remaining.
heavily this draft. I mean, the Tinker ban, the Ember Spirit ban, the Storm Spirit ban, the Alchemist ban. It's like not his hero pool has been reduced. He is very well known for his Templar Assassin. You know, he does that's definitely open. Could go for that.
Radiant team pick. Queen
Oh, Queen of
of
Pain.
Pain.
Queen of Pain. Yeah, and Queen of Pain just adds up to the damage. So should they go on the Troll Warlord with that lasso, Queen of Pain with her Scream, with her ultimate, just might be enough to take down that troll before they have a chance to re-engage.
10 seconds remaining. Lena, choose your hero.
Yeah, and Lena does not do well against a Batrider. I mean, if you're in any sort of defensive position and you get lassoed up, Lena does not have the amount of ability HP to survive through all of their abilities. So Lena pick does do well against the cop. With that Laguna Blade, it more or less comes down to whose positioning is better. Because she does need to get that stun off before she makes a probable use. So we are going to see. I do favor Portal's draft this game, though. Actually, I favor MM's draft this game.
You know what though? Guys, welcome to the cast. This is tea time. I realize my microphone has been muted all this time, but tell you what, this is a great time for me to unmute my mic and tell you that it is time to go for a quick commercial, and we'll be back in just a little while. Okay, so we are back, and now just generally to kind of look over towards the Lena versus Queen of Pain matchup. Who do you favor in that? Because I feel like this mid matchup will dictate a lot of the pace of this game.
Yeah, I think Shizzy is going to do really well against Lena over here. But MM's draft is team fight and mid game team fight, right? So Portal's draft is more or less pickoffs and getting those towers. So a lot of it's going to come down to positioning. I think positioning is the most important factor in this game. Tidehunter with his positioning, Batrider with his positioning. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they execute that.
Could you ask in chat what's going on? Because it does seem like, there is a pause coming through for some reason. Not 100% sure why. I will try to find out from the referee as well in the meanwhile. And, yeah. So, what are we kind of seeing from them as far as, this is sort of what you expect for them to have done for them to win? Because if you think that Queen of Pain will be losing their lane, I mean, they need to compensate somewhere. For a teamfight dependent hero, they need to be able to bring something in somewhere else.
absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I think MM are going. MM need to play this game exactly how they played the last game. You know, obviously making up for their mistakes. That is what they need to do. Portal Esports, though, I think they're going to do more of the same thing. Queen of Pain, Teamfight Hero. I think an Omni Slash plus the Queen of Pain will ensure the kill every time once a Batrider gets that lasso up. So
Hmm. I don't know what's going on.
my screen is frozen at the hero picks. So
Yeah, they've paused it. That's why. Okay, so I think it has been resumed. I think we should be able to get into it soon enough. Well. Okay.
well, the game has been resumed, but
Well, however it is. So, let's just jump into it. What do we have for ourselves? We have. Why is
Prepare for battle.
my hotkeys aren't working? Okay, now they're working. Great. Sorry, my my observer hotkeys were just not working for a second. Right, so we're back into it. It took us a little while. My interface is slightly messed up, but we'll figure it out. For some reason, my ping and FPS are still showing. Dear God, dude, this is not going well.
we see Demo and Tidehunter both picking up boots this early on over here. Perhaps they're looking for the extra amount of harassment.
Is this a Trident coming out from the Radiant side, though? On Tidehunter?
This might be Trident coming out because again, Tidehunter, you can't really force him out of the lane. You might be able to, considering now he has boots and
This looks
lower
like Trident versus
regen.
Trident, though.
I have missed the Trident versus Trident meta,
Yeah,
to be honest.
Really
So
fun. This is really fun. Even back when Tridents were much more, of a thing, this didn't happen much. But when this is where they are contesting the runes, maybe they just want to go back immediately afterwards. Demo is on the retreat. You don't really want to fight in that sticky napalm.
The battle begins.
I'm wildly confused. Dark Willow is going towards mid.
well, the Dark Willow just seems to be hanging around over here.
Is he trying?
I'm
to
not
fake
sure why
a
the Tiny
ward?
pick up the boots.
Maybe she's trying to force out a sentry towards, the bottom rune. Make it seem like she put a ward down. That's why she came from the high ground. Tiny. Okay, Tiny. That's a great start to be able to get on to Ghost Khan right there. He already know he went for Bramble, so immediately Demo comes through with a quick little knockout punch and will be able to get the kill. So nicely done. Maybe that's why I just want to close the distance, throw someone back into the tower. Of course, on the safe lane, Teller. Remember, you've got much better control of your creep wave, so you can keep it closer to the tower.
This Tidehunter is going to have a really, really good time up against the Juggernaut. 1v1 against a melee carry. He's gonna do wonderful.
I mean, hopefully he can, keep the Juggernaut down a little bit as well. You don't really want Titan to just... Oh! Revenge! I did not expect that at all. I was not watching mid lane. I just thought, that's going to be a standard matchup. Revenge, even trying to die to the tower, will be successful, but Shiraz is there to get the experience. So, slightly unfortunate over there. Would have been a lot cooler if he managed to do that without Shiraz getting experience, but still, it is there.
I could have gone a lot worse. I actually thought the Queen of Pain would have gotten the last hit there
She
on
got the goal.
Lina.
I mean, it still registers a kill for the Queen of Pain. The Revenge is just wrecking her, man. Like, look at this. Look at the amount of damage onto Shiraz. He just doesn't care. Now, if you can ship over Asal, that would be nice, because remember the Blink Dagger from the Queen of Pain. What? He's got so much damage. What? Man, that fiery soul is ridiculous.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, attack speed bonus, 40 attack speed bonus, 5% move speed bonus.
Okay.
We do see a boss coming out over here.
That's still insane. That is still insane though.
That was the second kill Lina got.
Yeah.
So Lina coming out really ahead over here. 2 null talismans. Queen of Pain does not have a null talisman. You know, they were reworked the Raid Band Bracer null talisman. So the null talisman now gives you 3% spell amplification, which doesn't seem a lot, but when you have paired them up like 2 null talismans or 3, that really does a lot.
You also don't have I don't think she has cooldown on her TP scroll, because she literally just came back. So she's gonna have to have the good old walk of shame down towards the mid lane.
Yeah, but speaking of that, there is, you know, before the game was paused, and they probably now see the Dark Willow. So it's weird, but this Lina has nowhere to go.
She can go up. She's got enough movement speed. Remember, Fiery Soul does give her extra movement speed as well. So if she goes up and left, she should be fine.
Dark Willow is level 1 though, so so Lina can actually turn this with the help of the Witch Doctor. We will see how
it's ambitious.
How feisty of a play they want to put up here. I mean, I know if this was Shizzy, he'd go for it. He'd go for the Dark Willow kill. But
I mean, Shizzy also just linked up to the high ground and died right now, so.
Yeah, I mean, Shizzy's a player who's going to take every opportunity that he can
That's
get.
True. That is true. He's a joy to watch.
If it's not
I didn't expect that. I did not expect that, though.
I didn't expect that either.
No,
he had a good plan. He salved up. He had a lot more HP than the Lina. I think a better strategy would be to try and dodge the stun, because he didn't try to dodge the stun. He thought he had enough HP that even past the stun, he would have been able to take the Lina out. But slight miscalculation coming out there.
And I mean, Lina, you know, that 1-1-1 build, so much damage from that, especially because keep in mind that Lina already had some of the Fiery Soul charged up earlier, so you do actually reach that maximum stacks. Otherwise, you'd be expecting, oh, hey, no, you know, it's a Light Strike Array, use the Dragon Slave, you don't get to 3 stacks. But because of the earlier engagement, where Lina was trading hits with the Queen of Pain, Revenge was already on stacks, so, you know, ends up working in his favor.
It is going to be interesting because he does have those Fiery Soul stacks like you mentioned.
Yeah.
So he has a lot more movement speed than the Dark Willow over here. And they do have an Observer Ward, so he can try to hit the stun and it might just land on it. He does need to go back to base again, you know? Like, he died to the tower last time. That's a really good strategy. So, you know, go for the Dark Willow kill. If you get the kill, that's good. Even if you die, you can just come back to the lane.
Yeah, but you give it away a lot of experience if you die. And Willow's only
the Dark Willow, level 1 right now. He'll instantly be level 2. And not sure if you want to give that away, but...
Yeah. 3 Shadow Realm. And that's one of the things about Willow and a Trident. Willow's very level dependent. You want her to get that level 6. Terrorize is such a good spell. Bedlam is such a good spell. And in a Trident, you don't get that kind of experience. So if, you know, any sort of experience you can get towards mid would be enormous right now. I don't think those Brambles should hit, though, because Revenge, I mean, Brambles alone, generally speaking, you can just end up juking them out.
Yeah, it all depends because Lina has a lot of time to run away because Lina does see the Dark Widow. So Lina can just walk up. Queen of Pain doesn't have the TP like you mentioned. So this Lina is safe. The Lina is safe as long as he doesn't decide to fight. But again, you were talking about it all depends from player to player because this is an opportunity that you might be able to get the Dark Willow. So we are going to see how safe he wants to take this. Does he want to go for the kill? Does he want to save himself? So,
You're a goddamn
This guy has no chill, man.
Tiny has a TP as well, but he's not going to be able to make it in time, even if he decides. Witch Doctor is TPing in, so if Tiny decides to TP, there's going to be a 4-second TP, and whatever's going to happen would have happened already before Tiny shows up.
I just realized, man, I keep forgetting I can't press Shift Tab on this. I keep pressing Shift Tab for this team overlay. Accidentally. Oh well. Anyhow. In the meanwhile, though, other lanes, let's take a look at those. I asked this question earlier, Tala. Tidehunter will get farm. But the problem is, very likely so will Titan. How does Devil kind of make sure that his farm is equally effective? Because net worth is not equal on all heroes. Net worth on a Juggernaut is probably going to be a little bit better than net worth on a Tidehunter, because Tidehunter, he needs some kind of item or the other. Now, he's going for the phase boots. He's probably going to go for the bracer after that. Is that enough to have a significant impact in the game? Or, do you need more to justify the farm you are giving to Titan?
Well, I think Tidehunter, a Tidehunter against a 1v1 matchup against a physical carry is the dream position for that hero. That is the ideal position. So you can get as much farm as you want. Now, in a position where a Tidehunter can get as much farm as he wants, I think he should be going for a mechanism. Go
Really?
for that. Yeah, for a mechanism, go for that arcane boost. You can get the Guardian Greaves, because you're going to get that Blink Dagger, and you don't necessarily need the Blink Dagger immediately, because on your team you have a Tiny, you have a Lina, you have a Witch Doctor, so you don't need to immediately become an initiator. You could go for that mechanism, and that will give your team so much sustain, and then later on go for that Blink Dagger. So there are a lot of items that you could make. You could play a Tidehunter like a sort of a bristleback,
Yeah, that's
right?
what I
Where
was
you're
thinking.
getting items like Crimson Guard and Blade Mail, items that provide sustain, and that could really be deadly.
I would actually quite like that. Like, personally, I like the idea of, phase boots into a bracer or maybe 2 bracers and just start pushing down towers. Use your Lena, use your Tiny, use your Tidehunter, start pushing down towers, maybe leave 12 Warlord and Witch Doctor to play the buddy system somewhere else, and be that force on a map which really has to be reckoned with. Because the DI side, I have a feeling if you let them get the early lead, that is a lineup built to destroy.
Yeah, they have to stop their lead. They have to stop the Batrider from getting that Blink Dagger. I mean, obviously they won't be able to stop it indefinitely, but as long as they can maximize their potential and keep the entire team down, their lineup will do better. Because Lina, if you let Lina get ahead, it doesn't matter how good the cop is, the Queen of Pain is, because Lina just does so much damage. If a Lina snowballs, then you have 2 options, right? You can either take the Lina to be a physical damage carry or a magical damage hero, right? And this Lina, 2-1 already, getting 2 solo kills on the Queen of Pain is going to be snowballing. So we are going to see how they decide to play this Lina. And an early use is just so dangerous on Lina. Cop before Queen of Pain gets those levels in Blink. If Lina has use, then she's just going to be solo killing the Cop every time.
I don't know, man. Like, this pause is taking quite a while.
Yeah, this pause is PC issues. Well, they can happen anytime and anyone.
Isn't this at a land though? I thought this was at a
Well, I
9.
mean,
Okay. I have no idea how long this is going to be. So, what else is there? What else is there? You know, we need to find something to talk about. Tala. Tala. I'm gonna keep saying Tala
yeah.
until you give me something to talk about.
I mean, it is 2 minutes into the game now. We could discuss any possibility over here.
That's
You
true,
know,
actually.
Lena might as well end up with divine rapiers for all you know, and just right
You
click
never
everyone
know.
down.
I mean, that is a lot of attack
Never
speed.
know.
That is a lot of attack speed. Fiery Soul. Good spell.
Tiny this time around, Demo did not end up dying, you know, giving away first blood or getting those deaths. So we saw Tiny, we saw Demo getting a really, really bad start at the start of the game, but then he turned into an absolute monster going in. So without the setback at the start, I'm interested to see how this Tiny is going to do. You know, he dies 4 or 5 times in the early game, but still manages to be one of the highest leveled heroes on his team on the support position. So
Huh. You know what though? I wouldn't mind seeing Dark Willow get level 25 quickly, get that plus 175 attack speed, and go for an Aghanims.
you know, one thing that I've not considered that much is Lena's Fiery Soul is actually a pretty good counter to the Queen of Pain's Shadow Strike.
Really?
Queen of Pain usually in early stages, you know, a few years ago, Queen of Pain, the professional players started to level up the Shadow Strike to level 2.
Yeah.
Because it just does so well against melee heroes. So now it does a 30% slow at level 2, right? And
Right.
Lena can have 3 stacks of movement speed. So if Lena goes for leveling up that Fiery Soul rather than her stuns or her nukes, then you can actually counter the Shadow Strike in a way.
I think a bit of it also comes down to, Shadow Strike. You can cast it twice per wave at level 2 rather than just the once as well. It's definitely a lot more cost effective harass for the mana rather than going for Scream of Pain. And realistically, Queen of Pain isn't looking to be rotating much until level 7 or 8 anyhow. So there is that. But do you think, actually just off the top of your head, for me, I might not like that level 2 Shadow Strike anymore because you have a much better opportunity to rotate around that 5-minute mark nowadays because of how you want to fight around those bounty runes, how you want to fight around nighttime if you have superior vision, and a Queen of Pain is probably going to be level 6 by 5 minutes as well. So I don't know if you
Yeah,
want
I
to
don't
go
like
for
this.
that.
I don't like the Shadow Strike.
Yeah.
I don't like the Shadow Strike upgrade because Shadow Strike is an ability that sort of staggers the opponent in a way that you use Shadow Strike and your team's on that hero and you're going to be running him down, right? It stops the opponent from running away. So you already have heroes for that purpose, right? You have that Jakiro, you have the Batrider, you have those heroes, and what you need in your team right now and going forward is that magical burst because you have a Batrider and that Batrider is going to be lassoing someone. So what happens after the lasso is that you want to be able to burst that hero down. So you need the Scream of Pain, you need the Sonic Wave, you need the Juggernaut's Omni Slash, just everything pouring into that hero. So Shadow Strike, not an ability that helps in that regard. It is a laning ability. It is a solo ability. Before you get that spread Shadow Strike ability at level 20.
I mean,
So
do you go for that though? What do you think about that? Like over the lifesteal?
I think you go for that. I
Really?
think
Okay.
it is very potent. It's a very potent ability, especially against 4 melees. I mean,
I guess.
you know, you got a Tidehunter, you have the Tiny Troll Warlord, just Shadow Strike them all, and it is really good at wave clear. Like a lot of people don't realize this, but if the wave is pushing in and you use a Shadow Strike, the entire wave is going to die. Not immediately, obviously, but after a while, 125 damage and a 90 damage per tick, the wave's going to die with the spread Shadow Strike. So it is a good defensive ability now as well
That's true.
with that level 20.
That is true. I mean, you know, I guess 30% spell launch it is also a little bit more like, hey, I kind of just want to go for the super carry build because Queen of Pain does have that ability now. Queen of Pain, for an intelligence mid hero, she has a very high agility gain. So she can transition into, you know, something like a Mjolnir as her last item and get a bit of extra, you know, right click damage as well. So, you know, that can try and work out over there.
This game, though, I don't think Queen of Pain can play that risky. You know, even with the spell Lifesteal, Radiant's heroes function in a way that makes the Queen of Pain very difficult to do her thing. I mean, Queen of Pain this game will have a very hard time blinking in to the enemy hero. Oh, and we are going to resume. So we
Hey.
are.
Hey, we're
The
about to
million
find
dollar
out what's going to
question is
happen
gonna
in
be answered.
mid. Is Ghost Khan going to go in? Is Ghost Khan going to back off? Find out next time in the Duke Gamers Arena Lahore qualifiers. I mean, or you can find out right now, but where's the fun in that?
If the game
Hey,
unpauses,
hey,
we will
hey.
find out.
It's happening. Okay, don't be impatient. So, okay, Ghost Khan goes forward. He does catch the Bramble. Revenge. Oh my god, dude, this guy's insane. This guy's actually just insane. He's turning around. Ghost Khan's dead. I mean, he does have a solve, so I guess he can use that in the middle of the Maledict tick, so he should be fine. But, that is scary. One more right click and he was dead right there.
One more right click. So he did back off towards the Dire side, but he did manage to get Sun on.
Wait, who solved it? Was it
Dragon
did Seven
Slave
just solve the Lina as well?
Yeah.
Nice.
He TP'd in with the Salve, he TP'd in with the Clarity.
Damn, man, that is a support. That is a real support player right there. You know it. Ghost Khan is trying to be a real support as well. Trying to tell us, hey, I'm not just a former carry player turned support. I am a support through and through. Nice from Revenge though, and every time Queen of Pain is in the middle of that animation, he's able to get that stun out. So he ends up coming out on top in the harassment trade. That's really good.
Oh, Tidehunter is actually going to end up going down over here thanks to Ghost Khan's rotation.
Spotted by Krunka, thanks to you.
Okay, so we are going to have our question answered, which is that Titan will have a free lane.
Yeah, Titan will have a free lane. Troll Warlord, though, not doing that badly. You know, as expected against a Batrider. Very difficult. Batrider is one of the best laners in the game.
At disrupting farm especially, you know, even if he's not going to really get a
Yeah.
kill all the time, but he'll disrupt your farm like nothing else. Seems like Demo
Oh, Jakiro is...
could be getting into action right now. Jakiro could be tossed over, but Demo can't quite have it in range. Revenge was a little bit too far away for that toss.
No, but he is going to chase. He is going to try and toss him back. But Lena decides that losing out on that much farm is not worth it.
What the hell loud is my coughing?
Oh, you were coughing?
Oh, you couldn't hear me? Great.
I couldn't tell.
Fantastic. Devil could be caught out again over here on the top lane. He does have Kraken Shell, but it's only level 1, so it's not going to be as easy for him to dispel all this damage off. So Devil could just end up being, you know, slightly...
Oh, he's fine. He's fine.
Is he? Oh, look at you.
Yeah, that anchor smash does 50% damage reduction. The spin is one thing, but physical damage, no way.
By the way, sorry guys if I'm missing kills. I'm actually just coughing half the time, so I don't look at the screen right now. Who died?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Okay, Aeon ended up going
Aeon
down.
died.
Yes, Aeon ended up going down. That was Demo to get the kill. And he also has a bottle for himself, so Demo, he's only level 2, nearly level 3, but you know how this player is. He very suddenly starts to jump right up. Queen of Pain in the meanwhile will be able to get some comeback farming, but she is a full level behind this Lina. One full level.
Yeah, and the problem is Lina's level 6.
Yeah.
So if you do go for that Shadow Strike and you end up getting stunned,
dead.
you're gonna die.
You're just super dead. You're like dead.
Quap's Blink, unlike the Storm Spirit Zap, does not dodge the ability. So even if you do blink away and there's a Laguna on you, you are going to take the damage.
He learned that the hard way.
Radiant are
He was not really able to dodge it anyway, but he'd like us to think that he was. I'm just thinking about your good old days when you used to be good, fella.
I don't like to think about those days.
Yeah.
We do see Demo and Lina in the mid lane.
Oh. Okay. All right. Okay. It's gonna be a fast one this time. It's gonna be a fast one. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. Demo could be able to catch this one out. Revenge with a great stun follow-up as well. Has a Light Strike Array. Has a regeneration rune if she wants to use it after that. Shadow Strike does end up wearing off. Demo in the meanwhile, level 3.5. Quite nice for him. That's one of the nicer things about 4-position Tyranny on the Radiant side. It's a lot easier to wrap around the back of that tower than it is on the Dire.
regeneration.
Lina's just going to be using up that regen rune, getting all of her mana back.
And TPing top, so this is very efficient use of this, man. There is a ward. They're able to catch her out.
There is a Ravage up.
Oh, I don't think they catch this though. Like Demo, unless he gets a nice little toss back, which does end up. Ow! Wow! That's a lot of damage from that Anchor Smash. That's a level 3 Anchor Smash.
They might be transitioning this into a tower.
How many kills are they going to get? Cyrus does finally end up going down. Abimon is able to, quickly just start coming back and forth, making sure that the sticky napalm makes it impossible for him to turn. And despite his best effort, 7 will be the final casualty.
They are TPing top to try and defend this though.
Oh! Juggernaut toss back, making sure that he can't Omni Slash immediately or get the spin out. So this isn't the easiest kill for him, but just a tiny for 2 TPs, I might even be okay with that.
Double damage.
Tidehunter faking that Ravage out, making Shizzy blink.
Always nice to see those little things.
Yeah, those mind games,
Yeah,
man, those
yeah.
mind games. Demo is making his way to top again. He will see the Dark Willow, but
There is I don't know if you know about this. It's a medical term. It's called being dead as a wall.
walls are pretty much alive. They hear things all the time.
So do dead people.
My thanks.
Yeah, that's true. That people also you don't know for sure.
Yeah, maybe they're listening to you all the time. Dead people.
We will see that Tidehunter going for that fight though.
We will also
And
see
possibly
dead people potentially having Tidehunter as well. He's also dead people. He's dead fish.
the Onage call 5 kills in a row. I don't. That's very interesting because Radiant have been making very good pickoffs. And speaking of pickoffs,
There's another one of them. You've got Abimon going
Yeah.
down 100%. That long range hit from the Lina. The very fiery Lina is going to be able to get her down. But you were saying that.
Radiant's middle
With
tower
the Batrider
is
down,
attacked.
there's no way they're going to defend this tower. So this is nice. You know, we were talking about what Radiant need to do to cover up for their mistakes, and this is what they need to do. They need to get pickoffs, and they need to press their advantage afterwards.
Especially because without like Aeon there, without the Batrider there, how do you defend these towers? Now you do end up losing a 2-for-2 Bounty Rune trade as well. The Power Rune might end up going towards the Dire side. That's a big one. The Arcane Rune in the hands of the Queen of Pain can be deadly.
Worthy tribute.
Top lane. Could be seeing some action to come through, but Titan is being careful. Titan does still have that spin to dodge out a Ravage if he times it nicely. While mid lane Revenge.
Oh, Dire team are smoked up over here, so
Revenge seems to be the target.
maybe.
Radiant are scanning.
They've got good wards from the Radiant side, though. They know this is happening.
Oh, they will spot them
Yeah.
out using the scan. Very nicely placed scan over there.
Revenge knew from the wards, and now Glyph coming through from the Dire side. That is the paralyzing toss being used to set up for a Ravage as well. The Ravage, unfortunately, only catching out the Juggernaut. It gives him enough time to take Shizzy down the backlines as well. He doesn't have his TP for another 3 seconds, but Demo doesn't quite have that level 3 avalanche that he needed to be able to get the kill. There is still no Lena nearby, so Revenge's absence leads to 2 deaths from the Radiant side.
Is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
And the Ravage was expended over there. That is a 150-second cooldown. You want to be using the Ravage whenever you can get a confirmed kill, because you know it is an ability that you use to get a confirmed kill. So unfortunate for the Radiant team, they couldn't, you know, get their positioning correct. They couldn't find that kill on the Juggernaut. But Lina will be picking up the EUs now, and this is what we were talking about. Queen of Pain just made her dread, okay, and she doesn't have them yet.
Oh no, that is not a great avalanche, but he's got the toss. He's got the toss to follow up. Lena, unfortunately, the Yule Scepter not quite on her just yet. She turns around, trying to get the Yule Scepter, instead has to be content with TPing away. Unfortunate for her, but top lane Devil will end up taking a fall more likely than not. He does have a TP scroll, he does have the phase boots, but does force out the Omni Slash at the end of the day. So I guess that's something at the very least. Some solace for a troubled mind. Demo, though, is very troubled. He's got women screaming in his ear.
I do.
You know how much that hurts when you've got a Queen of Pain screaming in your
Yeah,
ear?
it knocks you back, man.
It hurts a lot. It hurts a lot. Cyrus, in the meanwhile, is trying to run after bats and birds and things with fire. Probably not the best of ideas.
Yeah, it's interesting. Is like the Troll Warlord's Battle Trance makes you run after the opponent. So the way it works with the Batrider is if he has his Firefly up, I mean,
Top tower is
you're just gonna be following the trail of the
That's
fire.
true.
So
That is true. It's like earlier a moth, quite literally, to the flame. Now, Batrider does have a route to travel, which is why he was able to outrun that. He's got some more global mobility. Revenge, though, with this Invis rune, has to find someone big. The Yule Scepter hasn't quite shown himself off, and the net worth lead is there, but has it really mattered that much recently?
I don't think Edward Leeds matters quite that much. We do see the Lina having an use though, so this is the thing. Lina, the Radiant team, we haven't actually seen them or what they can do in a 5v5 or you know, as a clustered scenario, because their lineup is very much team fight focused. You know, their lineup requires the Tidehunter, the Witch Doctor, the Lina, and the Tiny to be in one place to get their abilities off, and we haven't really seen that. We've seen pickoffs happen on all parts of the map, but we haven't seen what these guys can do with their lineup when they're focusing down
And speaking of
a mutual
speaking
objective.
of the Tiny, he's not level 6 yet. So Damo, who's having the bombastic game last time around, is slightly more quiet this time. So Dire have been better with not, you know, hemorrhaging kills towards that Tiny this time. So good for them. Bad for
Queen
them.
of Pain will be going for that Orchid. Now, I'm not sure how well this works. Orchid is a very standard item for the Queen of Pain, right? We know that. But how well does Orchid function in this game? Because Lina has an Eul's, and there's no other real Orchid target for you to get.
I mean, technically,
I
you can
mean,
get the Tidehunter when he's blinking in, I guess. Or, you know,
I mean, the Tidehunter is
Troll's
going
a
to
good person
disable
to Orchid
his.
as well. So
Yeah,
you're gonna
Troll's a
get
good,
all-
but again, you know, the Troll Warlord. The problem is that you need to be able to take him out before he gets his ultimate off. And the Tidehunter is just going to dispel the Orchid. So.
That's if you're no, but I mean that's if you're using the Orchid defensively on Tide. That's pretty good. You know, he blinks him, you Orchid him. He's like, what? I can't use my Rampage. Oh, nicely done. That is a great Ravage onto 3 people. Titan will end up going down from long range. The Healing Ward will soon be following. They've got themselves a Yule Scepter as well to try and follow up, but the Ice Wall will make it so that Shizzy does keep himself alive to fight another day. 4-man Avalanche will not matter. Demo should still be going down. Shadow Strike onto him, slowing him down. Bot lane, they are pushing out, but there's no tower to be had. The tier 1 was taken a long time ago. And at the end of the day,
That was
probably not worth it.
questionable at the best.
Queen of Pain Shizzy has managed to recover. The thing that's interesting is we see all of these skills going out, but the gold lead it's not changing. It's exactly where it was, 5 minutes
A
back
lot of
or
that
10
comes
minutes
down to
back.
Portal. Early on, they've managed to get a decent lead on their cores on everyone except for Lena, but ever since then, to actually prevent the Lena from overwhelming them, Portal has very often had to grope up as 3, grope up as 4, so you're not having the best of farming efficiency that way. So, MM's still very much in the game despite whatever the kill score make you believe. Lena's progression has
I think
stagnated a little bit though. She's been looking for the Boots of Travel for a long time now.
Yeah, and I'm not sure the Boots of Travel are the right item to be making this game. I mean, second item, Boots of Travel, does give you all that mobility, does that Fiery Soul. It's a very good item, but
Watch out.
in this
They're
game,
going
in this
they've got the
scenario,
smoke. They've got Abimon moving forward. He's got so much movement speed. Ghost Khan catches out Troll Warlord as well. Cyrus will be dropped back. Titan goes in with the Omni Slash. Demo trying to respond with whatever he can, but there is no Ravage. They can't quite get it out. The Terrorize comes through a little bit late. Revenge will not be caught out by it either. In the meanwhile, Aeon with the Ice Wall trying to Ice Path, not Ice Wall. This is not an Invoker. Aeon played Invoker, but not anymore. This is Aeon, the support player. T-time. God damn it.
yeah, and this is what we saw. This is what we saw last fight. The problem that we were talking about is that you have a Batrider and you're going to be lassoing someone, right? And then Juggernaut, and you're going to focus in all of your abilities on the lasso target, which is what they tried, right? They tried their Omni Slash, they tried the Willow, they tried the Batrider, but Troll Warlord was still able to get his ultimate out, and then you just lose the fight because you've expended all of your abilities to take out the lasso target and you failed.
And I think a bit of this comes down to, Batrider's build as well. He's gone for the super high mobility Bone 7 kind of build, but perhaps something where, maybe just go for, good old-fashioned Blink 4 stuff. Give yourself a better chance to take someone down, bring them close to your team, so, Aeon can get the macro pyre off maybe a little bit earlier. I'm not faulting him. I think that's still a great build with the Boots of Travel drums, but there's always that little question mark in your head, like, what if I'd done this instead of that?
Are scanning.
I love this from the Radiant side though, the pressure being put onto the top lane. This is in response to the bottom lane tier 1. So Titan should be able to get this tier 1 tower out, but they will use the glyph for that. So now that they have got the Ravage back, Demo can toss him forward.
They are defending their towers a lot better than the last game. Last game they seemed like as if they were just waiting to let it all
This
go.
go from the back lines. Ghost Khans, Terrorize will be sending them back. Shizzy will be able to re-engage when he wants. Titan is TP'd in as well. Doesn't quite have the Omni Slash off of cooldown. 7 with a great Death Ward being channeled up from the high ground. Gush will take down the Dark Willow. Shizzy will respond with a secondary kill onto Devil as well. So they are able to get 2 for 1 and defend their tower. So I wanted a bit more from that team fight, but unfortunately didn't quite have everyone there to make it happen. Ravage was used, surprisingly enough. Are you here?
But
Were you saying something? Oh, your Discord's lagging out. Yeah. Dala?
Radiant's middle
I'm
tower
gonna
is
quickly
under attack.
message him on Steam, guys. Just give us a second. Sorry for this, guys. Just some technical difficulties. We're gonna try and get this sorted out very quickly. Just make sure that you know, doing whatever we can to make things just a little bit better. This should make it fine. Dala, can you hear me? Are we back, Dala? All right. Right, so I think he's gonna have to restart his Discord and then maybe we'll be fine. In the meanwhile, top lane, Devil did end up backing off and we have finally gone to a 2k gold lead. So what seemed to be at the exact same place for the longest of times will be coming back now. Tala, are you back? Say something.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Okay. Still can't hear you. Okay, maybe I need to restart my Discord. Maybe that's what's going on. It's alright, guys. These technical issues happen. It's all a part of the game. It's all a part of the name. You know, it's just what you have to deal with. It's what you have to deal with. Okay. Dala, say something now.
Hello?
Okay, great. Fantastic. We can hear you.
yeah, my internet disconnected. I'm really sorry for that, guys.
He's lying.
So we are going to see another attempt at this Willow.
That was a great terrorize from the Willow in the previous team fight, though. The one that was able to disengage. Smoke coming out from the die side will not be catching anyone. Maybe we'll get a wraparound on Revenge, but Revenge is actually almost getting killed. Shizzy, unfortunately, Shizzy does have himself that regen run, but here is a re-engage. The Orchid will ensure the kill onto the Lina, so now they have to fight in the back lines without her and without the Witch Doctor, which seems like an impossible task considering the fact that they don't have enough mana for that Ravage. So Troll Warlord, Cyrus probably just want to go back to farming, probably just want to give up that tier 2 tower, but he can't even do that. The Bat Rider has TP down bot.
This is where I think their items, I think a mechanism before the pipe would have been a lot more useful. Just for that increased amount of sustain and heal coming out.
Cyrus has been a little bit quiet as far as the effect he's having in this game goes so far. Demo will be moving forward, linking in, almost getting that kill over there. Devil trying to juke out the terrorize is unsuccessful, and now they're even going for the re-engage. Orchid on the Tiny, guarantees them that kill, and Portal Esports are just, every time we take our camera over towards them, it seems like they're taking another few steps forward and push MM another few steps back.
Yeah, I think Troll Warlord needs to get his BKB before he can do anything in these team fights. Lina choosing to go for that Blink Dagger and Boots of Travel. Not really.
It's not doing much, is it? Like, her net worth doesn't seem
No,
to
it's
be
not-
having that kind of presence in the fight.
I mean, that's an entire Orchid.
Oh no, Bat Rider. I mean, he sees her. She's been orchided up. Now there is a response. There is the Ravage, but there is no detection. Shizzy with the Invis rune will just tell KFG that have fun over there. I'm gonna be hit. I'm gonna be farming. Bottom lane is gonna be pushing.
That was unfortunate. They had no detection over there. I mean, you're committing so many abilities over there. You're committing a 150-second cooldown. You need to have this detection, man. These are the things that can make or break games. They need to be more careful with this.
Well, you know what else can make or break games? Demo. The demo is dead. And that wasn't a joke or anything. It's just Demo can actually make or break games. If Demo was having the same kind of impact that he did in the previous game with the early lead that they were able to get over here, that would be completely different. But Portal's adjustments to how Demo was playing has made it so difficult for him to do all that much.
Yeah, and remember we were talking about how important positioning is in this game. Devil, he seems to not really be getting those high value ravages off for some reason. I mean, he's relying on the Witch Doctor to make that initiation, which is fine because, you know, we talked about it, he does not have a dagger. He opted for more sustained items, but that's not an excuse. You need to be making the play for your team, right? Lina, whether she's not a playmaker in the same way. You need to be creating those opportunities, allowing your team to get that ward out, which the Witch Doctor has not been able to do, get the tiny stun toss, get the Lina combo, and secure kills.
Here's the thing for me though, Lala. The net worth for me is like, you know, there's something, I don't remember, I'm not 100% sure if this is a term anymore, but there's effective net worth, which is like, you know, a Midas is 2,000 gold on your net worth shots, but it really is only giving you 30 attack speed. You know, a boost of travel is really efficient, really good for you, really good mobility, but when you're in a fight, it doesn't give you anything. So, the effective net worth of this Lina seems so much lower because of her item choices that she's still doing a lot. Don't get me wrong, she's still the most valuable player on the team. And let's see whether she can actually get away with the safety right here. Now, Omni Slash comes out. Demo will choose to tank it and will choose to be the sacrificial lamb. Devil trying to get the response. The Bat Rider ends up taking a fall, but Bedlammed up. The Dark Widow comes in from the sidelines. Revenge has got so much movement speed, and finally it's coming in handy as he manages to blink away as well while the Queen of Pain was coming in. Unfortunately, the Ice Path catches out 2 players and guarantees the death of the Witch Doctor while Tidehunter TPs away. A 2-for-1 trade at the end of the day. But Lina again starts off very strong, gets all her spells out, but after that it's just such a strong drop off.
Yeah, but one thing we haven't noticed is that, you know, all of these team fights, we've seen like 3 or 4 team fights in the past 5 minutes, and Troll Warlord has never... Yeah, Cyrus has not been there, and it's allowed him to keep on farming. He's gotten his BKB, he's gonna go for that Basher, he's gonna get his Abyssal Blade, and once the Troll Warlord starts dealing a lot of damage, there's no response. There's no response because the Tidehunter will have his pipe, he will have his Solar Crest, he will function as a Bristleback, you know, providing that crucial sustain and crucial tank ability, and there's not really a response that I can see from the Dire team.
And actually, I mean, you know, we've been kind of hating on the Revenge build quite a bit, but at the same time, one of the things that it does allow him to do it a lot more effectively, it allows him to make plays and farm on the other side of the map with Cyrus. So Cyrus can be in the safe spots, but now with the, you know, boots of travel, with the Blink Dagger, with the Yule Step, with the Lina, she keeps up her net worth, she keeps up that farm, so come late game, Lina's still going to be a beast because of these boots of travel. Yes, she seems a little bit ineffective right now, but it's later on, it's because she's had that travel, because she's been farming the enemy jungle, because she's been at all the fights that Cyrus can't be, that now they've got 2 cores that will be farmed up.
Dire are scanning.
Bot lane though is consistently pushing in, that's very frustrating for the Radiant side.
Titan is going to be going for that Majolni. Not really sure that's the best of items to get. The Batrider though does have that blink and does have that force off and that boost of travel. I'm not sure when Batrider was able to make up so much farm. I mean, it wasn't so long ago that he just had it drums.
And he had boost of travel first item. But yes, they grow up so fast, is the words you're looking for. Cute little bat with the gleaming eyes and the fire in his mouth, quite literally.
Queen of Pain does have that BKB, so we're at that stage where everyone's getting BKBs. And all of the magical damage that Radiant have is going to start to dissipate. You do see the Lina going for that Scepter, so her Laguna Blade is going to be pure damage. Her Laguna Blade is going to slice through the Juggernaut's Blade Fury and it does a lot of damage.
Cyrus desperately needs that Basher now that these BKBs are coming out, though. He needs to start being in the fight soon.
Yeah, Troll Warlord is no longer the hero, no longer the ultra late game hero like Medusa that he used to be. Neither are any of the other carries actually. They're all mid to late game centered now. So this Troll Warlord needs to be doing more.
Bottom tier 2 just
I think around the 35-minute mark he's going to become a beast.
Bottom tier 2 just went away nothing, and the mid tier 2 will be very big gap to make for the top. Everyone chooses not to try and blink onto the Titan. Instead, he wants to blink forward, find that Troll Warlord to use the BKB early to make sure that the damage isn't too much to deal with. Now, in comes Selena, who's able to blink into the back line, but actually, she ends up cancelling that TP, and Troll Warlord uses the remainder of his BKB timing the TP away. So now it all comes down to whether they can find anything with Aeon or the Shizzy. Shizzy will have the BKB up. He can blink away whenever he wants to. Uses it to move forward. Instead, Shizzy keeps on trying to fight out. Devil with that pipe is going to be slowed up continually. Will not have the Kraken Cell swinging on the damage strike, but instead there's a Ravage, there's a Laguna, and they will be able to finish him off. Yule Scepter in the back lines will save Lena for a little while longer, but it will be the movement speed at the end of the day that she's relying on. Revenge simply can't get anything done, and he will end up going down after he gets the kill on the Shizzy, but Shizzy's buyback will make even that seem like a non-factor. There is buyback on 3 players, but maybe after the tier 2 they do just want to head into the Roche break.
Yeah, that was a lackluster fight. I mean, Troll Warlord had to dispense his BKB to TP in there. I'm not sure why he chose to fight, because without the BKB, you can't be fighting. You have no sustain. Tidehunter did not get his ultimate off on time.
I mean,
they were able to take...
The BKBs on the right side are too much for them to deal with right now. And you're right, but that's Troll Warlord. They're just not factors. Lena got the right kill even. Lena actually got the perfect kill on the Queen of Pain. That's why they needed the Troll Warlord to come through, being able to fight up with the Juggernaut even when he's in the spin. Make sure you can trap him in with your nets, but as much
the perfect opportunity for Lena to be getting off her Laguna is within the Tidehunter Ravage, right? So Tidehunter uses Ravage, Lena uses her spells and Laguna Blades, and one hero should be dead. That is the ideal scenario where a Ravage is used and they try to get a team fight. But we haven't been seeing Devil get off that Ravage
so
that they
in the
made.
previous team fight, that's exactly what happened. Like, they were able to get the Queen of Pain for Laguna, but the problem is, again, the reason why you didn't notice that Shiraz immediately bought back, but more than that, it's Cyrus is. I'm not hating on him or anything, but as much space as his team has made for him, he has not put up what he's needed to with the amount of resources that his team has given him. Cyrus has needed to be like such a big beast, and a lot of that comes down to the fact that Dire has been very good at constricting farm in the bottom lane for him. But at the end of the day, he's not a presence in these team fights, and now he's ended up going for Sun instead of a Basher as well.
Yeah, perhaps he's going for the Sanj and Yasha. It will give him some decent status resistance, but it's not a damage item. It's not an item that can help you carry the game.
Oh no, Devil is too far forward without the Ravage. He could be caught out fairly quickly. 7 is forced to use the Death Ward. Lots of damage coming out from the Queen of Pain, but even she can just move backwards onto Demo, try and take him down in the back lines. Revenge will be taking a fall for that Omni Slash. Lasso onto the Tidehunter. BKB up from Cyrus. Ravage does literally nothing. Both players having magic immunity at the time. Troll Warlord will be trying to take down Ghost Khan and is unsuccessful in doing so without losing his own life in the process. Devil, I mean, that was not the play. That Ravage really just reeked of desperation right there. Full 5-man wipe. Roshan will go their way as well. It's still, well below half HP. We're more than happy in just
Yeah,
clean it up.
and Radiant did use the Dire there. This is where a Tide Hunter pick is so crucial because you are literally the hero that will either win you the team fight or lose you the team fight. If you're too trigger happy and if you use a Ravage a second early or a second late, then you're going to be costing the team fight over there, and we saw that happen. We saw them melt so quickly. Troll Warlord just doesn't have the damage to do anything. He got a good BKB off, he got his ultimate off, no one could hit him, but he just couldn't take anyone down.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the Ravage hit on both those players, I think they win that team fight. Regardless the goal, that they're down and everything. But now, Cyrus, he's been forced to use his BKB, and you know what that means. That means he's a bit of a non-factor in the next team fight if they want to take it right now. So they might as well go for the second lane of Rax as well. Devil, they know he doesn't have the Ravage. They know he's not that effective. So Titan, with the butterfly, with the Mjolnir, with all the farm in the world, he's as rich as he could be.
Yeah, and this arena, we saw the increased mobility, because of the dagger, because of the EOs. Lina was able to take the Batrider out last fight before he could do anything. But you know, once you use that, all of your items, they're focused on taking down a single hero, but they're not going to do anything after that.
No, here's the thing.
If you get jumped,
Here's the thing. There is a world where you can play this way as Lina, and that's fine. But that is a world where you need your Troll Warlord to be the one to come through and use the advantage of 5 versus 4 to your favor. Because Lina's one-man pick-up strategy isn't bad. If you're starting off with team fight 5v4, that's great. You know, that's fantastic. You know, then Lina can be more for utility hero, get those right clicks in, use that mobility to your advantage. But you need your Troll Warlord in that case, Salah.
Yeah, you need your Troll Warlord, and even though we've seen the Juggernaut on the Dire team on Portal Esports just being there for the team fights at the start and Troll Warlord just farming away, Juggernaut has a Butterfly, has a Manta Style, has a Mjolnir, has 3 core late game items, and Troll Warlord just doesn't have a response. He has a Diffusal Blade, which is basically a starter item. He has a BKB, that's good, but he has a Sean. He has nothing apart from that. At this point in the game, if he were to transition his Sanj into a Halberd, you know, that would provide much more utility than he could ever at this stage.
And I mean, this is something where we haven't given enough credit to the Dire side as well. We've been talking about how Troll hasn't got enough farm, but a lot of that is because Dire is will probably be able to get away to safety. She's got players behind her. They will be able to take Gamo down in return. Instead, they've got the Omni Slash, they've got the damage, they've got pretty much everything they need, and this should be perhaps even another lane of Raxes. That's a Ravage onto Magic Community once again. Cyrus is on the cliff. He was knocked there by the Flame Break. So once again, the Troll Warlord can't do anything in a fight, and Devil will be falling. I mean, props to the Dire side. They managed to make Cyrus a non-factor. They managed to make sure that he can't get farm even when Lina is doing her best to, you know, try and get the map open elsewhere. This Troll Warlord, Dire shut him down completely, and that's what we're seeing right now as well. They go through the...
Yeah, Troll Warlord, not to fault him or anything, but he got up on that cliff thanks to the Batrider. Very good play by the Batrider, just taking the Troll Warlord out of the fight. So... And again, we saw the Tide Hunter Ravage. The Ravage did not hit on the Juggernaut. The Laguna was expended on the Willow. So past their core abilities being used, how do you take the cores out? How do you take the Juggernaut out with a Butterfly? You know, how do you take a Queen of Pain out with a Lincoln? You can't do that if you don't have Laguna, if you don't have your Ravage, if your Troll Warlord, you know, is up on a cliff. So...
Swap has a level 25 as well, man. It's so incredibly powerful this year.
Yeah, it's like a Willow again.
Yeah,
right? Cop's Queen of Pain is like a Willow's ultimate now.
Thankfully, it's at least got range.
Lina is caught out in the top lane, and this is a dead lead.
I think
Lina going for that Ethereal Blade. Perhaps if they had a lot more utility items, a lot more control items, they could have done a lot more. You know, get that Orchid, get that Eels, and Shivas and Hex. Items like those, items like Glimmer Cape and Force Staff that actually help you survive.
Shiraz has had a fantastic game as well. He may have... honestly, I think Lina destroyed him in lane. But Shiraz brought it back. Shiraz, stable as always. Shizzy. There's a reason why he was considered one of the best players. He is considered one of the best players of Darkest Harness. That you can rely on him to perform. And right now, they're all performing. They've got the Omni Slash. The Tidehunter's taken down. This is pretty much GG, and they call it. They call it right there. And props to Lina. She did really well early on, but unfortunately, despite looking very solidly in the lead for the first, 10, even 15 minutes, I would say, they just couldn't really bring it back together. They just couldn't really guarantee farm on Cyrus. They just couldn't really use demo to the same effect as they did in the past, and it kind of just fell apart around that mid game.
Yeah, it felt a lot lackluster. We've seen them last game, right? And we saw them this game. Individually, they're really good, right? Individually, Lina was able to destroy Shizzy in lane. Demo was played really good last game. Demo had some good tosses, good combos over here. But as a team which has a Tidehunter and a Witch Doctor, you need to function, fluently. You need to use your abilities to complement the other abilities, like your Ravage into a Death Ward, hit your Ravage onto heroes, maximize the potential to take out their cores, and they just weren't able to do that.
And, a lot of it also comes down to, this is where, if you're playing against a team like Portal will exploit your weaknesses. So you need to recognize when your main core is your main weakness as well. So you need to recognize how to prioritize him, how to make sure he gets that farm, how to make sure he gets up his bash, how to make sure he gets a BKB early enough that he can come and fight, rather than, when there's a 10,000 gold lead for Portal. Portal played fantastically. They were behind momentum-wise in the beginning. They were definitely behind item-wise as well at certain times, and they looked like they had missed their timings a few points at here and there, but a few mistakes from and Portal. They were never out of it, but they completely took the bull by the horns very soon after the early game.
They are very well played by Portal Esports. We will be seeing them, sort of the all-star team, the all-star players. We will be seeing them in Lahore, and I am looking forward to seeing what they actually do.
And you know what? We're looking forward to seeing you guys in Lahore as well. So remember to come over. The New Gamers Arena will be held. The finale will be held in Lahore. It is going to be Saturday, the 31st of August. I'm not 100% sure about the venue, to be perfectly honest. I'm sure I'll be told that later on. But when I do, I'll announce it on my social media or whatever. They'll announce it on their social media too. But be there, and if you're not there, make sure you're tuning into the stream. We'd love to have you there, and thank you all for tuning in right now as well. And this is Tea Time, this is Teltrus, and this is Grimheart with us in spirit, and we are signing off.